Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to a stone cold, stunning episode of the Number 9 with Tommy podcast. We're hoping this show doesn't hit rock bottom before our finisher. Tommy and I are set up on tables like Bubba Ray and his brother, the minister. This show has been quite the undertaking, and our birthday boy swung a barbed wire bat and hit it out of the park. He struck it. So if you're not down with that and the Number 9 media brand, you can suck it. We're the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Kicking out hit after hit. If you listen to the radio but don't watch the stream, you can't see this shit. Today should be an absolute celebration, and this spotlight will shine on Tommy, because 32 years and 9 months ago, his dad got down with his mommy. They gave us a podcaster who's done all the work behind the scenes without a formal education. He states his viewpoint and stands his ground without hesitation. He's loyal to his pals and his child and his wife. He's really the best friend a guy could ask for in life. He's funny as hell, feeling quite well, and as a team, we really do gel. He's got gout, so occasionally his ankle may swell. He raises his son better than most parents, I'd say, and his new bald head was a recipe for a more handsome appearance today. He can change an outlet, turn a wrench, and lay a tile. And when friends are in need, he doesn't hesitate to let them stay for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce again to you my bestie who's no lefty, my friend whose will won't bend, my technical guru who loves a ribeye to chew through, my partner in crime during that break in that time, a diehard Niners fan in every sense of the word, whose wife giggles at the thought of the scent of a turd, a man who sees through his convictions and with whom I share my addictions, the birthday boy, one day removed, Tommy fucking Washington. What's been up, man? How are you?
I'm good, Pat. A couple problems with your intro. One, I was actually a month early, so it was actually 8 months and a day ago.
Oh, okay.
So,
You
little
guys, is that pre-me 1 month early?
yeah, I was a premature,
Okay.
much like your sex life.
I was just going to
Um,
say nothing changed as you got older, huh?
uh, but yeah, thanks. Very complimentary intro there.
Complimentative. That's right up there with assuminate.
Complimentary.
Complimentary.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I said. Complimentary.
Complimentary?
Yeah, you get it.
That's fucking great.
Listen, the important thing here is that you get what I'm saying.
Tom, did you or do you have any birthday plans?
No, I sat on my computer all day yesterday. I played video games. Um, got down with my brother for a little while on a video game.
Thank you for
And
fixing that.
fixing what?
Well, you
Oh,
were like,
God.
I sat on the computer and played video games. Then I got down with my brother for a little while on the
No.
video games.
Yeah, we played video games. But, I love the kid to death, but he's a little bit too intense sometimes. So he was having a bad day. Once we got off, he was playing a game that he plays called Dota. Wasn't going well for him. And then we started playing a game, and he was just being an ass.
Yeah,
So
that happens.
I was just like, you know what, man, I'm all set. We didn't even get to start a game together the second go around. We get loaded into the game, and he was being miserable. Which I understand. He's super competitive. He wants to do well, whatever he does. I get it, but he wasn't gonna rain on my parade. I was having a good day, so
Okay.
I went on and just played more video games by myself till about midnight last night. Then I went to bed and got up, and here I am.
I mean, did you get any birthday presents?
My wife got me a shirt that says "I hate people." Fits me perfectly.
I like
And a new pair of jeans.
it. Okay. Okay. How do they fit?
I haven't tried them on. I might wear them today.
Okay. I mean, do you want to know what gifts I have coming your way?
If you want to tell me, I really don't understand why you would send me gifts. I'm 32 years old. I really don't even celebrate my birthday. I did get, however, for dinner, my wife went up to Manchester to see her mother. So on her way home, you know what she got?
What's that?
Bird code.
Nice.
Nah, gotta tell you, man, it's not as good as I remember.
What?
Yeah, it was okay.
That's almost sinning.
It was okay. But then she went out to the store and got me an ice cream cake for my birthday, a football one. That was pretty good.
I mean, the reason I would get you gifts is because I am currently 100% on getting my family members gifts this year. 2021, I have not missed a birthday. I have a 2-week alarm and a 2-day alarm for everyone in my family. And you're my brother. So I can't ruin the streak just because you want to be a Scrooge about your fucking birthday. I don't care. Scrooge? Is that? Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, I guess that's more Hollow Christmas guy, but yeah, I got you.
That's true. Yeah. So the first gift,
Doesn't
Tommy,
Scrooge sound like a bad, like a scary movie kind of?
yeah, it sure does. Well, and I also got confused there because I don't know if you've ever watched DuckTales, but Scrooge McDuck isn't really a bad guy, I don't think.
I've never seen DuckTales. I don't watch little kid movies.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't remember if I'm right about that. He might have actually been a money grubbing bad guy. I don't know. Your first gift, Tommy, is because I had to get you a real gift, not just something funny. So I went with a plaque. It's got 8 little, those hard plastic card holders.
Yeah.
So it's got 8 of those, and it is filled with the 8 best 49ers in history. So it's like a Joe Montana, a Steve Bono, not Steve Bono, Steve Young.
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, you're gonna have a Jerry Rice card in there. So it's probably John Taylor. It'll have a nice little thing in the middle that says San Francisco 49ers. But that's something you can put on your wall down in your man cave. The other thing I got you, because if nothing else, I've got to bring a smile to your face on your birthday. It's a T-shirt that has the letters ERS at the bottom of it, so just ERS. And above that, there is a 40-ounce malt beverage and a pistol.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like it. Well, thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. I really
Very
like the I have a coin for one of the Super Bowl things. It's something that has like all 5 Super Bowl tickets or something in it that they won. And I still
that thing.
I have not hung that up yet.
It's still a good piece.
Yes, it is. But I don't know why I really slack on hanging shit up when it comes time to hang it up.
Yeah, especially since the only person it matters to is you. So you'd think you would hang it up for yourself.
Yeah, nah, I ain't got time for this shit. Too busy doing podcasts. So anyway, I don't think we got any email. None of the number 9ers emailed in, wished me happy birthday or anything. Pricks.
I'm not done asking birthday questions. Are you taking any time?
Any time for what?
Your birthday.
No.
You never know, man. People are fucking weird. I
had
so many people take their birthday off.
I had the opportunity to work yesterday because I did take off Tuesday and Wednesday because my brother was in town not for our birthday, but for something else. And so I was gonna work yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it and I was like, well, if it's not a weekday and I don't have I'll just use the extra PTO day and not work on my birthday. That's
gotcha.
But I didn't take any time or anything.
Wait, so you've gone to Disney, you've gone to Aruba. How far into the negative on your PTO time are you? Are you like 6 weeks that you owe the company at this point?
Yeah, I went on 2 vacations.
Yeah, they were doozies too. Disney and Aruba. Those are good vacations, man.
Yeah, I'm not in the negative at all on my PTO time.
Nice.
Pat, I don't know if you know this about me, but I have unlimited PTO time.
That's excellent. That's a great perk.
Yeah. The company doesn't know that, but I have unlimited PTO time.
Okay.
When Tom needs time off, Tom takes time off.
Oh, you know what? I actually did know that about you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I get paid or not. I don't care. If I need the time off, I'm just not going to go to work.
True story. And as you should. The workplace should not control your life.
I also never go over my allotted PTO. I think that's not true. The year I got married, I did take a week of VTO. And that was because I took a 2-week honeymoon. So I took 1 week paid, 1 week not paid.
I got you. I know I somehow
You're really killing me. Pat, I've gotten a lot of feedback about this, that there's a lot of long breaks in our show lately. And
that would be a post-production issue. You just take the silence
out. Yeah. See, I'm not going to do that. So if you could stop muting your mic every 5 seconds, and then
Listen,
trying to
we're
unmute
going
it.
live. If you don't edit what happens live, it's going to have complaints.
If you can't figure out how to unmute your mic in a timely manner, like less than a half a second, then I gotta tell you, stop muting your mic.
One way or the other, people are going to cry if we don't do any editing, because they cry when I hit my vape and they cry when I mute my mic. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, but I think that they should be used to us by now hitting the vapes, man. We've been doing this for over a year.
At least this way, I'm setting you up for success. Like, you could go back and take
Yeah,
out the
I
time.
could go ahead and do more work afterwards.
Hypothetically speaking, how long do you think it would take you to do that?
I don't know, probably if I really, the problem is, Pat, is that they're natural long breaks too.
Sure.
So I'd have to go back and listen to it. And we usually do about an hour to an hour and a half show. So it would take me about an hour and a half if I were going to do it right. Remember, the first
How much extra
episode
time would it take me
to do it?
for you to do it?
0.
Fuck, we can get it done.
No, remember, when we first started doing this, the first Erica says wah wah. I don't know what that means. Like I'm
Because
crying.
I said everybody cries.
Oh. Remember when we first started doing this, I listened to the first episode, which most of you have never even heard, about 15 times before I put it out there, because I edited it so many times. But we also didn't really flow the way, like there was real long pauses. Like we're talking 20, 30 seconds sometimes.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't think that there's any like skill or art to two people having a conversation, but there is certainly a kind of like in a professional fight when you see these guys like, I'll hit you, you hit me, and they kind of go back and forth. It's like they're dancing. I think that's why people like boxing so much. There's a lot of that going on in this environment where, you even if I have something to say and it is it opposes what you're saying, or it goes in conjunction with what you're saying, we absolutely have to take turns, and it is very much a dance, and that's a weird rhythm to get used to. It took us a while.
Miss Ariwashi said, I don't care if you hit your vape. What I can't stand is if you have a long pull of vape and then try to talk. Ugh. That's understandable.
Is it?
Yeah, she's talking like this, Pat.
Oh, I know exactly what she's referring to.
So you see, the thing is like that, and then it makes me cough. It sounds like it just smoked some weed.
I don't get why this bothers her, though. It's basically just us having a conversation with a different voice.
Yeah, it's not nice though. I did get some
Alright.
other feedback from Mi Madre. Mi Madre has dipped back into the show. She started listening again, and she says that you have a severe case of ADHD because we're in the middle of. I think I called you out for this last week or the last episode when we were in the middle of doing mail time, and you just started talking about wrestling.
Yeah, not only wrestling, but really anything. So last week was especially difficult because we didn't have a timeline because we had done the Dante piece. So I had looked up a bunch of articles that we could conversate about, but not told you about it because we didn't have a pre-podcast conversation. So I was just trying to sneak them in.
So you see what I just did here? Wait, Pat, I just segued into a wrestling topic because I saw this video yesterday. It was definitely like a lower rank, like some show that you would go to in Waterbury or Bridgeport. It was what's going on here? Why
Give
you?
you some TV time?
Oh my god,
I'm listening to you.
this guy's ridiculous. So it was a guy and a girl wrestling, right? And the guy's stick was that his penis was the biggest muscle in his body. So
That's amazing.
at one point he grabs the girl. Now I only saw clips. I didn't watch the whole thing. It was like 10 minutes. But at one point he grabs her by her boobs from behind and flips him over her or her over him.
With his dick?
No, with his hands, right?
Okay.
But then she's down, like they put them in like a arm bar, or they twist their arm and they're down on the mat, and they throw them down or whatever. So her hand is on his dick, and that's what he's doing to her.
That's
it
amazing.
was the most horrid thing I had ever seen in my life.
There's a couple gimmicks going around right now. There's a guy named Orange Cassidy who doesn't take his hands out of his pockets, which sounds impossible and improbable. But when you see Orange Cassidy, this motherfucker's running from inside the ring and doing a front flip to the outside of the ring onto people and never takes his hands out of his pockets. He does suicide dives through the ropes, like spinning, and never takes his hands out of his pockets. But he also doesn't ever get excited. So like his kicks are basically like a 4-year-old trying to kick a soccer ball. Like he just kind of very gently taps people, and they just fall to the ground holding their shins. And it's tough to get used to, but it's a quality gimmick once you've adapted to the fact that you've got to suspend some serious disbelief.
Interesting.
I also watched. Yeah, I watched what was called the gayest match of all times. My buddy Maddie sent it to me the other day.
You must have
and
loved it.
It was one of the worst matches I've ever seen, even for the fact that it was obviously supposed to be hokey and funny. But basically, the dudes were, without actually doing it, they were pretending to, like, one guy shoved his fingers in the first guy's ass, and then the guy behind the second guy shoved his fingers in the second guy's ass, then the guy behind the third guy. So there was this long chain of dudes just like with their fingers in each other's ass walking around the ring, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? But that's what you get when, you know, these guys try things and they, you know, they put together spots that are creative, and well, some are a swing and a miss, man. It was a bad spot.
All right, moving on.
Yep.
You want to get into some of these memes?
Your face tells that story. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hold on a second. Let's talk to this guy thing. Pat, before we get into the memes for this episode, I do want to throw out there that we put up the video of the Dante John interview. My son did a great job editing. Like, he didn't really edit our interview with him, but he added in some stuff to it. And his music
was awesome.
And his music video is all the way at the end of that. So if you guys want to check that out, Number 9 Podcast Number 9 Podcast on Number 9 with Tommy Podcast on YouTube. It's also on our Facebook page. I tried to put it. Oh, it's on Twitter as well. The link to the videos on Twitter, and I tried to put it on our Instagram, but I got logged out, so it's not there. But if you guys were interested, if you guys listened to it on the show yesterday, and you guys want to get an idea of what, or not yesterday, on Wednesday, but Thursday, if you guys wanted to get an idea of what Dante John looks like, what his music video was, go check it out. It's all on YouTube. Also in the if you're listening to us on Spotify or wherever, there's a link in the description of last week's episode 104, that has the link to his music video for YouTube.
I mean, I'm not big on music videos. There are a handful in history that I've been like, wow, that's a really good video. This was, I mean, as far as a first video goes, could you have really done any better?
No, I thought it was a good video. His girl there that he did with, pretty attractive. If he's not hitting that, he probably should try.
Maybe on a rooftop.
Yeah, whatever. Get some asphalt in your ass, whatever you need.
Oh my God, Tommy, hold on. Listen, again, we talked for a long time after he left that night, after the show was over that night. Can I tell you that Dante John's sex stories that were not fit for air would have been, oh my God, different than the one he told. His brother reminded him of a story, and it had me in tears. When we were off this, you should ask me about it, because it was one of the funniest sex stories I've ever heard in my life.
It couldn't have been funnier than you asking to have a dick put in your mouth, but I get you.
I assure you, it is up there. It's that caliber.
But all in all, I thought we had a great interview with him. We got to get to know him a little bit. Hopefully, I sent something into the highway for him. So I hope he's got over 1,000 views already on that video. So
it's pretty fucking good.
So I don't know if that's just him watching it over and over and over again, or
could be. Well, the song is really good. So even if you're not watching the video, which again, probably the best you could possibly do on your first go because the quality is amazing and the setting is beautiful. But the song is just fucking great. It's catchy as shit.
So I was thinking about this after we talked, and maybe you could because I don't have any any interaction with him whatsoever. But you should probably let him know that he can post that to Spotify for free, and people will be able to download it and listen to it.
Yeah, he's got somebody working on all of his social media accounts for him.
Yeah, I know, but like that's something like that would have been the first step. Like I want to release a fucking video on YouTube, I would have put it on Spotify first. But that's just me.
I told him use Spotify. If there's a way to do Apple Music, do that. Use SoundCloud. Use YouTube. Use every platform he can because it only needs to take off in one spot. Everybody else will follow.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's get into some of these memes for this episode. Pat, I want to know where you found these.
Well, you don't want to do that one first.
Which one want to do?
Unfortunately,
So you put them in backwards. One. Gotcha.
No, they were one picture, I thought.
They were, but I mean, you can trim whatever. It is what it is.
So
not everybody's perfect.
This is a customer taken photograph of the back end of a black Sharpie marker, Crayola marker. And we've seen it on crayons and markers since we were children. It has the color that is the marker written in 3 languages. So it says black, negro, and noir. This picture is taken by a customer, and above it, the customer posts, "Oh my God, I'm absolutely stunned at Crayola. This is disgusting and unacceptable. Canceled." Now, I don't know if this person's being serious or not.
There's no way. There's no fucking way, dude, because it's had that on there since I was a kid. There's no fucking way that this person is serious. If they are, they're a fucking retard.
Well, there's more than one of them, as we will get into. But Crayola did take the time to respond. They said, "We're grateful for the opportunity to respond. Crayola offers multiple languages on some products to help children learn. Negro, pronounced negro, is the appropriate word a Spanish-speaking child would use for the color black. We hope this helps." So there is then above that there's a box of them and it has a colored pencil on it. And it says black negro noir. And it says the people at Crayola have some explaining to do with the number 2. Like they couldn't even take the time to appropriately put this in words. So Crayola said, "Sorry if you've taken offense at whatever that guy's Darkman X. The word negro, pronounced negro, is the literal Spanish translation for the word black." And the last one is a crayon where this woman, Deborah, says, "Why can't the name of this at Crayola crayon be called just black? What the hell? Negro? I didn't appreciate explaining this to my 2nd grader yesterday. I think I will start a petition or buy a no-name brand crayon." To which they respond, they responded, "We are grateful for the opportunity to respond. Crayola offers multiple languages and some products to help children learn. Negro, pronounced negro, is the appropriate word for a Spanish-speaking child would use for the color black. We hope this is helpful." It's amazing that they've got now the marker, they've got the crayon, and they've got the colored pencil just getting attacked.
You know what it is?
Multiple languages.
You really know what everybody knows what that is, right? Everybody knows that negro is the Spanish translation for black, right? Everybody knows that. What it is are these people want their 5 minutes of fame for calling out Crayola. Like, there's not. If I called Colin in here right now, he would know what the Spanish translation for black is.
Probably.
Because he saw it on a Crayola crayon. You know what I mean?
I do.
Like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, people are, maybe they did it ironically, like, "Oh, this is funny because I'm making fun of cancel culture." But the fact that there are so many people doing it, I can't assume that they are all doing it ironically.
Yeah, they're not. They're a piece of shit. Moving on.
What's the next meme?
The next one I got is it's from the White Walker Texas Ranger.
This is one of my favorite memes ever.
Men should probably realize that if you knock up a woman who doesn't want it and she's already going to jail for the rest of her life for an abortion, there's absolutely zero incentive left not to murder your ass first. That's basically a BOGO sale, and we live for that shit. That's pretty good.
So fucking great.
That's a pretty good one.
The next one, this is not funny, but did you read this at all?
No.
This is one of the most insanely poignant points that I've ever heard in the abortion argument. And there are some people who listen to this show who are not going to like this one, but I got to tell you, if you're going to make sense and I can find it on the internet, I'm putting it up. So it says, every time the abortion discussion pops up, I like to point out this quote by David Barnhart, a traditional Christian pastor. He says, the unborn are a convenient group of people to advocate for. They never make demands of you. They are morally uncomplicated. Unlike the incarcerated, addicted, or the chronically poor, they don't resent your condescension or complain that you are not politically correct. Unlike widows, they don't ask you to question patriarchy. Unlike orphans, they don't need money, education, or childcare. Unlike aliens, they don't bring all that racial, cultural, and religious baggage that you dislike. They allow you to feel good about yourself without any work at creating or maintaining relationships. And when they are born, you can forget about them because they cease to be the unborn. It's almost as if by being born, they have died to you. You can love the unborn and advocate for them without substantially changing your own wealth, power, or privilege, without reimagining social structures, apologizing, or making reparations to anyone. They are, in short, the perfect people to love if you want to claim you love Jesus, but actually dislike people who breathe. Prisoners, immigrants, the sick, the poor, widows, orphans, all the groups that are specifically mentioned in the Bible, they get thrown under the bus for the unborn. That's really fucking good, man. That's a fucking great point, because it's easy for me to stick up for an unborn child and say, you should have that baby. If you don't, it's murder. It costs me nothing. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to do shit.
I'm with you.
This is and this was from a pastor. I'm just like, damn. He just turned around at the dinner table and fucking punched his brother right in the face. But I do think it was poignant.
Great meme. Pat, you couldn't hear it for some reason, but I just played the applause music.
Oh, that's excellent. Thanks, man.
Anyway.
Tom,
this is for later.
The topic of the day, unfortunately, is not your birthday. I sent you a text yesterday. I said, did we do a 9/11 episode last year? And I knew we covered some of 9/11 last year because we talked about where we were and everything. I don't think we went very in-depth in it. And you said, no, why do you want to? And I said, that's the whole timeline. And your response was, great. We can talk about the only thing anybody's wanted to talk about on my birthday for the last 20 years. And I was going to make fun of you. Like, oh, I'm sorry, 9/11 was so inconvenient for you. But I get what you're saying. I really do. Like, it's the fucking one day a year that's supposed to be special to you. And it never, ever, ever will be.
Do you want to hear my take on this?
Sure.
Is that what you're getting at?
No, I mean, sure. I'm interested in your take on it.
All right, hold on one second. Okay, Pat. So this is my take on it. It was a tragic day in U.S. history. Now, mind you, I was a wee one. I was turning 12 years old, and I didn't even know what the World Trade Center was. Never mind the significance of what had happened. Right? No idea. So I get why we made the stand to never forget. I get why we remember it every year. What I don't get, and it's kind of played out to me, is the news coverage all motherfucking day about it. Like, we could do like
It wasn't just Saturday. They also covered
No,
all day
Friday.
Friday. They were like pre-covering what they were
Yeah.
gonna cover.
And like I get it, man. It's horrible. It's horrible that almost 3,000 people died that day, and then never mind the effects of all the first responders and the people that went and cleaned up the debris after it all happened. Some of these people are dying now or have significant health issues because of it. So I get all that, like, and it's sad. It is. But at the same time, like, how long are we gonna beat this fucking drum? Like, I think that's one of our problems as Americans. Let's look at Afghanistan, right? The whole problem in Afghanistan right now is because we refuse to forget and move on. It was 20 fucking years ago, man. Like, Bin Laden's not around now. We did what we had to do. We should turn the page to a new page, and let's not forget the heroes and the victims of that day. But it shouldn't be beaten into us the way, like, we're not remembering Pearl Harbor the way that we remember 9/11. You know what I'm saying? There might be a fucking 30-minute thing on the news for Pearl Harbor. It's not an all-day event.
Yeah, I mean, and there's maybe one or two movies about Pearl Harbor. There is the Michael Bay movie, Michael Bay movie.
Great movie.
I don't remember it. I did watch it.
The
There's a
Pearl,
lot.
The one with Ben Affleck. With Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah. He plays a very small role in that movie, but yeah. You know what's a great movie with Cuban Gooding? Is
A Few Good Men.
No, he's not. Oh, is he in A Few Good Men? He is. Men of Honor.
Men of Honor is incredible.
A fucking great movie. Great movie.
Because nobody can play an asshole like Robert De Niro. Oh my god. You just want to punch him in his fucking face the whole time.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Like, what a great. But he loved that dude. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
and at
there's
a time
like a
where it was
turn where he actually is the hero of one of the heroes of the story. Yes.
Yes. Great. Well, and I think that speaks to people's integrity, right? And doing the right thing.
And I think it speaks to why training instructors and drill instructors are the way they are, because that's what's necessary. When Cuba Gooding Jr. didn't stand a chance in that fucking courtroom and they wanted him to walk in that suit, there was one guy who could make it happen. And it was the guy who would tell him that there was no fucking chance he could get it done. And was successful every time to that point. Why wouldn't it work that time? It was a great fucking movie.
Yeah, great movie. Anyway, sorry to get off topic. But that's kind of my take on it. And I'm not saying like... So yeah, that's my take on. Yeah. So that's my take on it. It's it kind of is what it is. Again, like, I'm not trying to downplay what it meant or what it is, and I think the world that we live in, because of social media, maybe that's why it's so in your face so much, and not so much like Pearl Harbor was, because they didn't have this shit. And now all the people that were alive during Pearl Harbor are most likely dead or close to it. So,
but I think you're onto a couple things. One, social media obviously plays a huge contribution to this. Two, we're alive still, the majority of us. And I think that when we get caught up in the don't forget or never forget thing, I think the misconception is what we're not forgetting. What we're not forgetting is the fucking sacrifice, right? It's not that, there was a terrorist attack. It's not that we went over there and launched a war. Those are different subsections of ultimately there were a whole shitload of people who either paid the ultimate sacrifice or just balls up made it out, but they sacrificed their own health, or at least were willing to make the best of a bad situation. We'll get more into it obviously throughout the show. I will say before we get into the show, because there was no way for me to put it into the timeline or the podcast. Dude, I listened to a fucking podcast. It's called Criminal. We've talked about it before. It's hosted by a chick named Phoebe Judge, but she has a second show called This Is Love. She had an episode with a 9/11 survivor who is blind, and he tells the story of when the first plane hit. He's like 20 floors down from it, so they hear it, him and his business partner, and it basically just sounds like a pop. Like they really weren't stressing it. But then the building moved, like the wind was blowing so hard that the building moved is what it felt like. And this dude's fucking blind and has a seeing eye dog. And from the rip was like, I knew we were going to be okay because the dog wasn't worried. And this fucking story that this dude tells of like them getting down all the sets of stairs and everybody keeps like grabbing him by the arm because they see that he's blind. And he's like, you can't touch me. Like, my dog is my eyes. If you grab me, I lose my eyesight. Like, you have to stop. And the dog knows like how to treat him on the stairs to make sure he doesn't fall down the stairs and how to get him down effectively and safely. And everybody else is just fucking him and the dog over. It's an incredible story. And when they get out to safety and then the buildings start collapsing and just like how you need to go from there. And he knows that he needs to protect the dog because the dog can't be breathing that shit in. The dog knows that he needs to protect the blind guy because he has no fucking clue where he's going. Dude, if you get a chance, listen to it. This is love. You can actually just go to the Criminal Podcast and listen to the episode. It's so fucking cool to hear. I've never heard a 9/11 survivor story told first person ever.
Nice. Erica says, so it's going to continue to be that way because recent history, every adult now was alive in their older things, like that's what I just said, that there's a certain events in life that almost everyone will remember exactly where they were and what they were doing. Yeah, I'm not saying that
Y2K, man, the turn of 99 into 2000, you probably don't remember because you were a little younger, but most of us will always remember where we were because there was such a scare of, will the computers crash? Will we lose everything? And of course the clock ticked and everything was fine and everybody went on their day as usual, but we all remember where we were when it turned 2000.
I remember where I was. I was in my parents' basement down here, yeah.
Nice. Same room you're in now or a different room?
No, the room where my man cave is. That was like the family room.
Nice. Actually, did you have friends over?
No, it was just the family because we all thought we were gonna die.
Okay.
So,
well, we were all wrong on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately. Anyway,
so let's talk about let's do this episode on what we're remembering, right? Why we remember, and maybe it'll make you feel better about people putting so much emphasis on this day and not just letting it go.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I'm not like super upset about it, Pat. It kind of is what it is.
I know, but it's the only thing we have for the fucking storyline, so you're gonna have to play along here.
Oh man, these horrible people.
No,
make me feel better,
oof.
Pat.
Oof, the timeline was not designed to make you feel better. Your take, I didn't know your take. You just said that. I had already set up the timeline. So, Tom, when 9/11 happened, and these are personal questions, personal to you. What was the first thing that changed in your life?
Fucked on my birthday.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
I'll actually never forget. I'll never forget. So me and my brother rode our bikes to school that day. I don't know if I told this the last time we covered it, but we rode our bikes to school for the first time that day because it was our 12th birthday, and my mom was going to let us ride our bikes to school.
Okay.
So we rode our bikes to school, and they weren't allowed in the middle school to tell us what was going on. But we had an early dismissal and came home. And my mom was home that day from work. Whether or not she just had the day off or it was my birthday, I'm not sure. But so we came home. My grandmother was here. I think one of my uncles might have been here. And, again, like, I didn't even know what the World Trade Center was. Like, I didn't know what a catastrophe this was. And what a big, what it really was. I had no idea, right? I remember a kid coming up to me and telling me, like, oh, did you hear what was going on? Because one of the teachers had it on the news, but had the contrast down on the TV. So he was just playing the news coverage, the audio of it. Yeah. And he's like, oh, did you hear that in the other room that, 2 planes flew into the World Trade Center? And I was like, whatever, bro. We'll just bomb them back. No big deal. And like I have no idea what the World Trade, like, even that they were in New York, I had no fucking clue. So, I remember my dad coming home from work, and he walked in the house, and everybody was talking about it, and he goes, hey, let's get the important shit out of the way. Happy birthday, boys. You know what I mean? So
Was that your dad?
yeah.
What
So
a fucking man.
yeah, he's a man. So
Man, as a father, not knowing what's going on, knowing that, this is probably terrorist and not knowing whether it's over or not.
well, so it
for
was
him to
later
just
in the
have
day. So it was later in the day at that point. You're talking 4 or 5 o'clock in the
Yeah, dude.
afternoon. By then,
But
everybody
at that
knew.
time, we were all thinking, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next week? For your dad to be cognizant enough to be like, hey, still a special day for the kiddos. We better take the time to mention them. Like, that's a fucking stand-up dude.
Yeah.
I like that move a lot.
So, like, I don't like. Did anything really change in my life after it? Like, other than it being on my birthday? It's like when to this day, I just turned 32 years old. Okay. When I tell people it's my birthday on 9/11, they go, "Oh shit!" Like it is what it is, man. It's not that big a deal to me. Like, it doesn't like. It's not like it is what it is, man. It's just another fucking day to me.
Right.
Like, so nothing's really changed in my life. Luckily, I was young enough. Like, you were probably 16, 17 at that point.
Yeah, I was either the best or worst age this could have happened at, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, but like, you had older siblings. Steven's going into the military or was already in the military. You know that he's going to end up getting deployed for this. So like trust me, it's not a woe me situation. Oh my God, my birthday's ruined. Oh my God. Like, no, I understand there's real sacrifice for people out there. But all in all, my life hasn't changed because of it.
That was actually, because I answered all of these questions myself as well. The first thing that changed for me was I was walking into my, I believe, fourth period. It was a history class, and Miss Pratt was the teacher. And as I was walking in, she said, a second plane just hit the World Trade Center. And I said, huh? And she said, a plane hit the World Trade Center a little while ago. A second plane just hit.
Was your response, what's the World Trade Center?
No, I knew what the World Trade Center was because my Uncle Bob worked on Wall Street and was just kind of big in finance. So we had a concept. I did not go to class. I walked straight to the library, and I called my brothers who work together, Michael and Tony, and I said, did you guys hear what's going on? They said, yeah, we're watching on the TV. And I said, Michael, call my school and get me the fuck out of here. And I didn't even wait for the phone call. I don't even know if Michael ever called. I left school. I just walked out because as soon as she said they think it's a terrorist act, immediately I went, fuck, Steven's going. We hadn't announced that we were going anywhere. We didn't talk about killing anybody. We didn't even say the military was involved. And I went, fuck, this is so fucking bad. And I could have been dead wrong. I wasn't, but I could have been. Yeah, I walked right out of school. I just walked home. So fuck this. This is bullshit. It was awful.
Yeah, it's understood. I mean, but hey, luckily you made it through, right?
So I guess the next question is going to be tough for you because it was what changed the most because of 9/11 for you. Never mind what changed first. What significant change? I guess for
that
you,
20
really
years,
significant change.
That 20 years later, people still go, "Fuck, man, your birthday's on 9/11." Like,
well, that and even like for you, a big change would be airline travel, right?
No, because you know what? The only time I had never traveled on an airplane pre 9/11.
Okay.
Hold on. Did I?
It was a magical thing, man. It was nice and easy.
Hold on. It was 2000. You know what? That's not true. I did. The first time I ever traveled on an airplane was in 2000. We went to Disney. I think it was 2000. Yeah, it must have been the year before. So I went, but like I couldn't tell you what it was like going on. Like I don't remember what it was like. So it's the norm to me, the way it is now. The fucking shoes off. You're getting naked to go through the fucking metal detector. They're scanning to see how big your dick is. I get all that. That's the only thing that I know. Same thing for Colin.
I would say that pre 9/11, not to the same extent, but I'll make a reference so at least you can kind of put it in perspective. You know how we look at rent-a-cops like mall cops? That's kind of
that's how you look at the TSA.
TSA, yeah, like they're a fucking joke. And to be fair, they were, because those motherfuckers were like, "Y'all got any bombs or pistols on you?" We're like, "Nah." And they're like, "All right, have a good flight."
Well, they missed the fucking guy with the razor blades on him. So
yeah, they were like, "You have any bombs on you?" And he was like, "No." And they were like, okay, have a good one. And then, you know, that was on them. What changed the most for me was I was at that age where, I mean, you were a teenage boy, you know, there's this, I don't know, anger inside you. There's this hunger to prove yourself or to figure out who you are. And it gave me the ability to align my angst. Like, you know, okay, now I have somewhere to focus my energy. I fucking hate Osama bin Laden. I love America. You know, music and movies that are made about 9/11 because I was so passionately involved. It gave me a place to vent my passion. So I would say it was well timed because, you know, teenage boys do a lot of stupid shit because what the fuck else are we gonna do? It gave me something to do.
Yeah.
Do you
Makes
feel
sense.
like you changed at all after 9/11 or no, you were too young?
No, I think I was probably too young. Like again, like I like to think of it my parents, to their credit or discredit or whatever, kept us pretty well sheltered from like real life shit.
Sure.
Which sometimes like I said, I didn't know what the fucking World Trade Center was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes I'm a dumb motherfucker because I don't know things that maybe some other parents are teaching their kids. But like what are you teaching your kids about the world? Like the fuck, who needs to know about that?
Yeah,
You know, so
I can't think that there's a family in America who is like, hey, listen, there's these really fucking boring buildings in New York City that stand super tall. They're called the Twin Towers, and that's the whole story. There's a bunch of dudes in shirts and ties
that
go
work in
there
there.
and they move money and they talk about money and they're good at money and that's what they do. I mean, that's the worst story your parents can tell you. Nobody's
Yeah.
doing that.
So yeah, I don't think it really changed me. I think because of it, I think without like if there wasn't a 9/11, I wouldn't be as hardcore American as I am. You know, like I love America, this is it. And don't get me wrong, there's kids that I'm sure I went to school with that at 12 years old who enlisted in the military when they were 18, like made the decision 6 years prior to that, I'm going to join the fucking military because I'm going to go fight these motherfuckers. And kept with it for the next 6 years.
Absolutely. No
You know,
question.
so I'm too fat to be in the military, always have been, so that wasn't an option for me. But like I'm sure that's where a lot of my patriotism comes from.
Yeah, there's no doubt that
It molded me into who I am, but it didn't really I wouldn't say it changed me, right? It just molded me into who I was because at that age, like I wasn't already set a certain way.
right. Okay, I would say I became quite a bit softer towards like my neighbors, right? Like legitimately, I probably am a better neighbor and kinder person because of 9/11. Because I'll tell you what, September 12th, 2001 and September 13th and the next fucking, I don't know, 2 years maybe, America was the greatest place that you could possibly imagine. America was a fucking utopia of amazing. And
Isn't it
everybody loved
crazy?
everybody.
Like so let me ask your opinion on this, Pat. If that happens today, like if there's another now I think about this often that there since other than the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and if you count Pearl Harbor for World War II, there's never been a war fought on American soil,
Right.
like with other countries,
Right.
other than the Revolution. And if you consider Pearl Harbor a fight, it wasn't really like we got blindsided,
That was an
but
attack.
it was similar to the World Trade Centers, right? So
Yeah.
like there was no war; it was just an attack, and then we went to their countries and did that. So
We dropped very big bombs.
yeah, and then it was over, which is what we should have done with Afghanistan, but that's neither here nor there. So if that happens today, do you think that unity comes back, or is
No.
America too far broken to where we'll just blame each other?
No, it would have to be something that couldn't be divided in political parties, because right now, if somebody dropped a nuclear bomb in California, the Democrats would blame Republicans for dropping the bomb, and the Republicans would say if Democrats were less of a pussy, then it never would have happened, and nobody would even care who did it. That we would just blame each other for it. It's a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah. It's funny to think about that, right? That,
I think that's a really good fucking question, though.
yeah, like 20, like, is that what it takes for us to unify? Because, like,
But here's more importantly, what did it take for us to segregate? Because we were fucking great, man. It was so fucking cool. You went to fucking Walmart, and before you left, right, there was just like a big bin, and it was like, hey, drop shit for people down in New York City right here. In every fucking Walmart, every store, like, hey, buy this American flag for $1. Hey, donate a bottle of water here because in New York City, they need it. And you didn't hesitate. It wasn't, do I do it? It was, how many do I donate?
yeah,
There was not a fucking second option, because we knew that Americans were down and they needed us to pick them up.
yeah, it's
Man, I missed that fucking time.
yeah, it's crazy, man. But it's that I think that's, I'm with you, man. That's probably what I miss most about that time, and not for nothing, man. I'd do it all over again to have that unity. Like,
If
if
we
something
could
happened,
capture that time and make it last forever, I don't think there's a high enough number of sacrifice that wouldn't be worth it. I mean, that's why the soldiers went over there and sacrificed for Americans, right? That's the idea. So if if for example I could give my life to make sure that everybody fucking got along for a little while or permanently, yeah, I'm in. Take me.
Erica says, I felt the patriotism after 9/11 as well, although just recently I read an article about some of their classmates getting terrorized after because they were in the Middle Eastern descent. I vaguely remember there being attacks on mosque,
Mosques.
yeah, etc.
Not
That's
only
true.
that, there were like cabbies in New York City getting ripped out of their cabs and just getting their asses kicked. So I guess the opposite
But
of what we said is true for Middle Easterners. They did not have an easy go of it immediately following 9/11.
no, and I still think some, like, we still uh we still stereotype Middle Easterners as terrorists. You know
Yeah.
what I,
Now I will say, in my head, getting onto an airplane post 9/11, and like somebody with a turban did make me nervous for quite some time. It does not anymore, but there was a period of time where I was just straight up like, okay,
Pat,
I'm gonna have to fight that guy.
there's no way that, and it doesn't make you nervous, right? But as soon as you see him on your plane, it crosses your mind.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
cognizant of what happened before.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying it
Tommy,
makes me nervous, but I'm aware. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, okay, just keep an
Well,
eye on
and
that guy, just in case.
I
Like, I'm
mean,
not gonna say anything and be an asshole to him, but I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna sleep on that flight, and I'm gonna just, be aware of my surroundings.
right. Well, it's also it's a lack of education, right? I can't look at that guy. I'm not smart enough to look at that guy or girl or whatever and go, well, I know that they're not a terrorist, or I know that they are a terrorist. It's I guess in that case I'm as stupid as a wounded dog, right? Because you reach out to a wounded dog and it may fucking bite you when you were trying to help it. Well, it didn't fucking know what you were doing. So in the same sense, I'm the stupid dog here that's been wounded, and I'm just like, listen, I'm not saying that you create a threat for this air flight, but I am saying if you do, I am fully prepared to get up and go fucking hand to hand with you.
Yeah.
Like, and
Depends
I
on what
don't
kind
feel
of
that
day
way
I'm
about
having.
the white guy or the black guy sitting next to me.
It depends on what kind of day I'm having. If I'm having a bad day, I might be like, "Yo, take this bitch down."
You mentioned there were some in your age range, maybe 12, who kind of had the recurring dream until they could make it, until they got to 18, that they were going to go fight for this country.
Oh, not a
Did
literal
you
dream.
have well, did you have anything that lingered in your mind or any recurring thoughts in your head, like after this all happened, that you just kind of never shook or couldn't shake back then?
No,
For example, would you have gone to the Macy's Day Parade in fucking New York City?
no. I would have never done that either way. But like,
Yeah, right.
I don't have, I don't worry about gathering in large groups, right? Because like, even if you look at the things that have happened, the Boston Marathon bombing, the shooting in Las Vegas, those things are, like, the odds of them happening, like, really think about it. All the events that go on every day in the States, the odds are so low for them, 1, to even happen, but 2, for you to be there are, like, is it really worth worrying yourself about?
I'm not saying worrying. I'm saying if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what am I gonna do? Fucking go slinging fucking guns everywhere? Listen, man, this is why we should all be carrying weapons. But
Well, that was going to
uh,
be my counterpoint. You said, "What am I going to do?" I'll tell you what you're going to do. You carry a fucking handgun, Tom. That's what you've done. You know what? Pre 9/11, you may never have become a registered gun owner. You don't know.
no, I like
You
guns,
might have
so
gone,
might have.
why would I carry a gun? That's kind of pointless. That's just,
Um,
accidents can happen. That's silly.
Erica said about a month after 9/11, I went on a road trip and out of Canada, all across the United States. It lasted 6 weeks on that trip. My ex-boyfriend, who I was traveling with, real nice, grew a beard. I got asked
Real nice.
at every Canadian border if I knew him and was with him on my own will. Well, I think they would have. I don't think that has anything to do with the beard, Erica. You're with a sketchy
Oh,
dude.
I guarantee that had to do with the
No, she was
beard.
with a fucking sketchy dude. It happens. God rest his soul.
Carlos Mencia did an excellent thing. I don't know if you remember the show Mind of Mencia. Do you remember
Yes,
that?
I did.
He talked about, like, if he flies to Florida, because he's Mexican, right? He's from
Yeah.
California. He talks about in California he's Mexican. Everybody knows he's Mexican. They treat him like he's Mexican. That if it's a Spanish speaking person, they speak Spanish to him. And he said he's flown to like Florida, and instantly he is Cuban. It doesn't matter that he's Mexican; he becomes Cuban. And he's like, I've been to New England, and I was Puerto Rican the entire time I was there. But on the flight to get there, I was Middle Eastern. Like, it's amazing because of my skin tone. It just depends on where I go. That changes where I'm from. And
That makes sense.
it was so fucking funny to hear him talk about it.
Erica said that Dave wasn't sketchy. LOL. She didn't say Dave. I said his name. No, I never had the pleasure of meeting the guy, so I don't know. His loss was
What
my
about
gain.
what about did it change? We'll start. I'm going to give you 4. Did it change your behavior at all?
I don't want to say. Again, man, I was too young. Again, it might have shaped me into. So I think which I think I'm just this type of person either way. But I think you can vouch for the fact that I do not hesitate to do for others.
Correct.
Typically, especially like, so I draw a line, right? If I know you, I don't hesitate. If I don't know you,
0% chance.
well, I wouldn't say 0, but you're probably a piece of shit. So, I'm just gonna keep on keeping it moving.
For example, okay, one of your guys comes to work, right? Well, no, that's tough because you're the boss, or you're in a leadership role. Let's say somebody shows up at your doorstep, one of your buddies, and he just smells like an asshole. You're gonna be like, hey man, jump in the fucking shower first, right? I've got some clothes you can wear. They're gonna be a little baggy, trust me. But like, before we even get into what's going on in your fucking life, because clearly there's something going on,
Yeah,
like,
go
you need to
wash
go
yourself up.
shower. I'm gonna make you some food, or Erica will make you some food, and let's have this conversation where you probably are not gonna put a $5 bill out your window to a homeless person. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. That's exactly what
Okay.
I'm saying. So, and I think that's just like 9/11 didn't cause that. That's just who I am, right? Like,
Right.
I take care of the people I trust. I take care of the people I know. And I kind of leave it there.
I since 9/11 avoid big crowds. I used to love concerts. I used to love really anything in a big crowd because you blend in and you can sneak below the radar, and I like that. At this point, I fucking hate New York City. Does nothing for me. I don't do concerts unless it's somebody that I really, really want to see. And even then, I'm going with a small group of people. I'm not going with 100 of my friends. And I think that's where, you hear, I've dated girls that are super anxious, even like inside of a grocery store, they get anxiety and they need to just leave their cart and walk the fuck out. I think that a lot of that stems from 9/11, whether they accept that or not, or whether they realize that or not. I think a lot of it comes from public places became scary, even in our subconscious, to these people.
Why can't we just call it what it is? They don't like people. And I'm okay with that. We don't have to like people.
I don't think they like all of the things that people could represent. I don't think it's the people. Like, I love individuals. Everybody I meet, I fucking love. They all have an interesting story. I ask questions about them, and I grow to love everybody I meet. But in a big, if you and I walk into a big room of people, I instantly am like, how much time do we have to stay here so that people aren't like, wow, they didn't stay that long. Like how quickly can we get the fuck out of here for it not to be weird?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like people in general, so it's not really the crowds that bother me. It's just people there.
What about now? A lot of
hold
this
on,
is
hold
going to
on,
do
hold on.
holding. Oh, did you mute yourself?
No, I did not. I'm just adding in the last thing that we need to add in. Oh boy, this one's gonna get tricky.
Holy shit. Erica just bombed in.
Yeah, I don't like people. I stopped you to read this great message from Erica. I keep in touch with friends more now. One of my best friends, Danielle, worked in New York City at the time, 9/11. I tried calling her cell phone all day. Later in the day, I finally got through to her parents' house where she still lived. Her mom told me that Danielle, her brother, and her dad were able to find each other and walk out of the city together until they could get picked up. Probably one of the scariest phone calls, waiting to hear if she was okay.
No
That's
fucking doubt.
yeah. That's understandable. I get so you know what I don't like about people with 9/11? There was a kid that lived on my street. His dad actually still lives here, and he after 9/11 told everybody that his dad was there that day, and also and it ended up being a lie. Like why? I don't get why people fucking lie about that shit, man. It still bothers me
Yeah,
to
that's a
this
weird
day.
one, man. That's
It
a
still
weird one.
bothers me to this day that he fucking said all that shit. Like, dude, no, he wasn't. He wasn't there that day. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah, it's
actually the
fucked up.
kid that told me that the World Trade Centers got hit, and I was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll just bomb their building. It's no big deal." You know what I mean? But in that original conversation was, "Oh, dude, I'm worried. My dad was going to the World Trade Center today. Like, why the fuck would your dad be going to the World Trade Center? He sells fucking doors."
But we see that everywhere, right? Like when the kid in high school killed himself or died in a car accident, because everybody knows somebody. Instantly, they had like 300 best friends, and you're like, wait a second. Like, didn't you call that motherfucker gay to his face like 2 days ago? Like, didn't I see you push him in the hallway?
I call you gay to your face all the time. What's your point?
I don't, the one that really gets me is John Ritter. When John Ritter died, this is the perfect example. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, he was the funniest comedian to ever live." No, he was funny. He was enjoyable, but he wasn't the greatest fucking talent in history. If you want to be upset about John Robin Williams and say he was brilliant, yes, absolutely. But we do this thing post mortem for people where we like, oh, they meant so much to me. Well, obviously they didn't fucking mean much to you, like when you listed your top 25, John Ritter wasn't even like an afterthought.
Yeah.
What about like movies and music? I know you were young, so your taste was kind of developing anyways. Did you grow into a passion? I mean, okay, how about Eminem's Mosh? Were you just like, fuck yeah, let's go?
I don't know what song you're talking about.
Mosh?
Yeah, I never don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. When we hang up, dude, you got to listen to Mosh.
Toby Keith's song there, great song. Pat also
Red, White,
thinks,
and Blue. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
well, that one, was it? I want to say it's shit. Alan Jackson. Where were you when the world stopped turning?
Yeah, that's a great song.
I mean, Toby Keith had a plethora of songs that. I mean, I feel like country music did a great job with the songs that they wrote to remember the people from 9/11. Erica said, when there's a tragedy like this, people want a connection. Same thing with Sandy Hook. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Again, it's I'm sure that those teachers that died in Sandy Hook were somehow everybody's best fucking friend from kindergarten and middle school and high school and everything else. I don't have any taste for that. Those people are right up there with the thoughts and prayers community to me.
Yeah, like
I will
that's
say this is where my passion for long, drawn out, dry movies came from. I started when I watched Fahrenheit 9/11, the documentary by Michael Moore. I realized that stuff is cool. Like, I didn't like who wants to watch a documentary when you're a kid, right? But when that happened, and there was so much information that could be absorbed in such a short period of time. Now we're watching all these things on serial killers and, sports. The 30 for 30 series is huge. Dude, documentaries are fucking legit. And true stories, true movies are fucking legit.
How about Rescue 911 or Rescue 911?
I actually had a note to myself that we had to bring up that show.
Or Rescue Me, it's called.
Yeah, Rescue Me was so fucking good with Dennis Leary.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Show.
It got repetitive. I mean, basically, he does pretty well, ruins his life with alcohol. Does pretty well, ruins his life with alcohol. It is as true as it comes for alcoholics, unfortunately.
Well, but his whole thing was
the opening scene to Rescue Me. If you've never watched that show, go watch that opening scene. It will fuck your world up. You know what I'm talking about?
It's about 9/11, ain't it?
Well, he's giving a whole speech to a recruitment class about how difficult the job will be and how it's not going to be easy and how they've made it and it's on them. And then he's also talking to ghosts.
Yeah.
And they live with him because he lived 9/11. And you're just like, fuck, what is going on in this show? But that's what the show's about. I mean, the guy lives with his demons.
Erica said, what about the movie with Robert Patterson? I don't know what movie that is. I don't know who Robert Patterson is. So
Robert Patterson.
Erica sold.
I don't know.
I don't know who Robert Patterson is. So
I'm thinking of the wrong guy. The guy I'm thinking of was in Where the Red Fern Grows, and that's not Robert Patterson. It's definitely Robert, but it's not Patterson. I don't.
You know, man, somebody gave me a great idea for this, Pat, and we should do it when there's questions like this on the show. We should have Colin sitting here to research this stuff.
Oh yeah, that is a good idea.
I think it's Patterson. I think it's Patterson.
Robert Pattinson is from Edward from Twilight.
Oh, not that kid then.
Oh, she said it's the vampire guy from Twilight. That's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, come on, Erica, get it together. What movie?
Get your shit straight, Erica.
Was it Remember Me?
I have no clue. I've never seen whatever she's talking about.
Me neither. What's the name of the movie?
What did she just put? She put a looks like a prisoner and the female Jean. I did not listen to punk rock pre 9/11. 9/11 happening. Punk rock is extremely political music. Man, I fell in love with punk rock almost instantly. Green Day released that fucking album. Not that I remember the name of the album, but it had American Idiot on it. And I guess I did listen to some punk rock. I liked Green Day before 9/11, but not a lot of punk rock. I fell in love with NoFX. I fell in love with Sum 41. I mean, everybody had something to say about what was going on, and I ate it all up.
Yeah,
because they can speak to your feelings, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I did hypocritically. I'll never understand this because I mean I lived it, but I hated Bush for sending my brother to war, but also loved that we went to war. I vividly remember thinking we have to kill these people, and it's not fair that you're sending Americans to kill these people. So I guess that speaks to like me being a teenager. I don't know, but it was it was very, very confusing that, you know, somebody needed to do it, but I wish it wasn't us.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
So do you want to run those are all my questions. Do you want to run through some facts about 9/11?
Yeah, let's bang through them real quick.
If you've been living on a cave on the moon with your, you know, your eyes closed and your fingers in your ears for the last 20 years, we can teach you what happened on 9/11. Maybe Colin will take something away from this, or Sam if she listens to the podcast anymore.
I doubt it.
19 men hijacked 4 fully fueled U.S. commercial airplanes bound for West Coast destinations. A total of 2,977 people were killed in New York City, Washington, D.C., and outside of Skanksville, Pennsylvania. The attack.
That's Shanksville.
Oh.
Jesus
what a
Christ.
typo. My bad.
Oh, it wasn't a typo, Pat. You read it wrong.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I auto-corrected. The attack was orchestrated by Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. Now, if you'll recall, we also went after Saddam after this. That was also super confusing as a young adult, just being like, wait, what the fuck? Like, that's not what happened on 9/11. Why are we like, now we're just warmongering? And again, my hatred for George Bush grew, but knowing what a bad guy Saddam was, it was like, okay, well, I guess we have to kill him. But then it was like, oh, he's just fighting his dad's war. Super confusing at my age as to why we were doing what we
I
were
think it was super confusing for everybody, Pat.
doing. Oh, there you go.
I don't think I had an age bracket on there.
At the World Trade Center, which is in Manhattan, 2,753 people died when the hijacked American Airlines Flight 11 and United Airlines Flight 175 were intentionally crashed into the North and South Towers, or as a result of the crashes. So, just to put in perspective, when we say these flights were fully fueled, these fucking things had enough fuel in them to bring them from the East Coast to the West Coast. These were all destined for West Coast. These fuckers were gassed up.
Yeah.
Of those who perished during the initial attacks and subsequent collapses of the towers, 343 were New York City firefighters, 23 were New York City police officers, and 37 were officers at Port Authority. They ranged everywhere from 2 years to 85 years old, and approximately 75 to 80% of the victims were men. When we say that we love the FDNY, those firefighters, man, could you fucking imagine a group of people losing 343 of their own? I don't give a fuck what the group is in a single day. And it's not like this was a sneak attack and those guys died in the sneak attack. Nope. They knew what happened and they went running to the fire and barreling up the stairs of these fucking buildings
To try and get
knowing, huh?
To get people out.
Yeah, they knew the danger of what they were doing, and they were so inconsiderate to their own well-being because all they were trying to do was help other people. This is by far the most tragic thing I can imagine, is just people dying for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
At the Pentagon in Washington, 184 people were killed when the hijacked American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the building near Shanksville, not to be confused with Skanksville, Pennsylvania. 40 passengers and crew members aboard American Airlines Flight 93 died when the plane crashed into a field. We have, on this episode, if Tommy wants to do it, we have an actual, basically a transcription of a phone call from one of the passengers on United Flight 93 to the 911 dispatcher, and it is fucking incredible what those people on that plane did. The first plane hit at 8:46 a.m. It was traveling from Boston to LA. The second one hit at 9:03. That one was going from Boston to LA. That was 17 minutes later. 34 minutes later, the flight going from Virginia to Los Angeles struck the Pentagon. And then 1 minute before 10 a.m., the South Tower collapsed. It took about 10 seconds for that big fucking building to come down. 4 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into that field. 25 minutes later, this was the time between the first attack and the collapse. The second building collapsed. The total time between the two collapses was 102 minutes. Dude, it's not 10:30 in the morning and all of this has happened. This was a fucking bad morning. It happened so fast. It was just one thing after another.
Bad morning. Oh shit.
It's fucking crazy. And dude, we can't get the news right when we have fucking 6 months to figure out what happened with George Floyd. You know what I mean? Imagine all of these things happening.
Oh, you ready for this, Pat?
Yeah, go ahead.
At the end, we'll play the audio for that transcript instead of reading.
Okay.
Erica just sent it to me.
I will say this. I tried to read it yesterday by myself and did not get through it. I had to stop because it's fucking brutal.
I believe it.
Yeah, I didn't even try. I started getting fucking emotional and I was like, nope, not doing this. I was all choked up. Liz laughed at me.
It's understandable.
December 13th, the U.S. government released a tape in which Osama bin Laden took responsibility for the attacks. Now, think of how much time that is, man. September 11th to December 13th. And all we fucking wanted was blood the whole fucking time. December 18th, Congress approved a measure to allow the president to designate September 11th as Patriots Day. So now that is what we celebrate. December 2001 to June 15th, 2004. We had the original Victims Compensation Fund, which processes death and injury claims from families and relatives of September 11th victims. Families of those killed had until December 22nd, 2003 to apply for compensation. So let me just explain this. It's a 3-year window, right, where you can apply for compensation. I'm going to skip a lot of this timeline. There was $123 billion estimated economic loss during the first 2 to 4 weeks of the World Trade Center collapse. $60 billion estimated cost of the World Trade Center site damage. $40 billion the value of the emergency anti-terrorism package approved by the U.S. $15 billion in aid passed by Congress to bail out the airlines. $9.3 billion in insurance claims arising from the 9/11 attacks. So we're going to fast forward many, many years. No, I don't think I put the stat on here. Luckily, I remember it. It was 2019. As of 2019, 60% of the victims of 9/11 have been positively identified.
It's on there. I saw that yesterday.
60%. So they gave you this window, this 2 to 3 year window to file for compensation, right? There it is. As of October 2019, 60% of the World Trade Center victims' remains have been positively identified, according to the medical examiner's office, which means 40% of the victims of 9/11 have not been compensated, or at least not fully, for their loss. Which means the mom and dad who had 3 kids and the mom stayed at home, that mom still has never seen a dime to take care of her 3 kids because dad went to work that day. That's what they're being punished for. Dad went to work. And now they suffer.
It's life, man.
Fucking brutal. So we're going to play the transcription. That's good because I knew that I wasn't going to make it through reading it, but we were going to try.
So I'm going to try. I'm not sure. Erica sent me a porn site, apparently.
Nice.
Oh, it's 2 minutes, so.
I will say this. Well, how far into this podcast are we, Tom?
We're just over an hour and 15 minutes, so.
Okay, so we're going to call it after this.
Yeah, we'll play this. We'll talk about it
And then
briefly, and then we'll get out of here. So
All
I'm
right,
gonna play the
listen to this, but
audio.
here
I'm not gonna show the video. Can you hear it?
Is it playing?
Yeah, can you hear the Universal music?
No, I cannot.
All right, hold on. I'm pretty sure that they can hear it on the podcast. They can, so I gotta change something with this. Can you hear that? Oh, what the fuck? I know why you can't hear me. Well, we're not gonna be able to play this, Pat, because this thing that Erica sent me is not real. It's the transcript, but
typical
it's
Erica.
well, it's the transcript. It's not the video. You can hear me though.
I can hear you fine.
What the fuck? But you couldn't hear.
Nothing.
I feel like it has to be this one.
When I took the call over, there was
hear
a
that.
soft spoken.
Okay, you can hear that?
Yep.
Okay, Erica sent me another thing. So
I'm going back on mute then.
I'm not gonna show the New Year.
Spoken calm. When I took the call over, there was a soft spoken. When I took the call over, there was a soft spoken, calm gentleman on the other end. He told me that there's 3 people that have taken over the flight. At that point, I asked him his name. He told me Todd Beamer. He was from Cranberry, New Jersey.
Did you make a conscious decision not to tell Todd about the World Trade Center? Why?
Yes. Because I wanted him to have hope. I wanted him to think that he still had a chance. I didn't want him to feel like it was just totally hopeless, and he definitely didn't have a choice, and he knew he was going to die. I didn't want him to have that feeling.
When he wanted to pray, was your sense then that he knew that?
Yes, I did. I felt that he knew at that time, because he had said, "Oh, Jesus, help us." And then he said, "Lisa, would you recite the Lord's Prayer with me?" And I knew that he knew at that time that it wasn't much left for him to do.
What do you think that this country needs to know about the men and women who were on board Flight 93?
They're all heroes in my eyes. They really are. They all pitched together, and they did what they thought was the best thing to do at that time. And I feel that Todd played a great role in that, because when he told the guys, "Are you ready?" I assumed that they were waiting on his cue. Then they responded to him, and he said, "Okay, let's roll."
And would you please help me welcome his wife, Lisa Beamer, here tonight?
She called me that Saturday morning. I told her, I said, "You have 2 boys, David and Andrew?" She said, "Yes, yes, I do." I said, "And you're expecting your 3rd child?" She said, "Yes. He told you all of that." I said, "Yes, he did. And he wanted me to let you know that he loved you and his family very much." And I gave her a message and kept my promise.
well, it's not really the transcript, huh, Pat?
No, it is not. That got me too, though. So I'm glad that we're not listening to the transcript, because I'm all fucking watery-eyed to begin with.
That was pretty good though. That was worth it.
She 100% sounds like a fucking 911 operator. She was born with that fucking voice. This was her destiny.
Yeah, crazy, man. But you know what, man? The guy died a hero. Good for him. All right. Pat,
Do you want
didn't-
to do the transcript?
No, that was good enough. Do you want
Okay.
to do it? I don't really want to do it. Let's not make anybody cry in the show.
Oh, God forbid we evoke a little emotion.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
And it's
Pat,
it's not about anybody crying. It's really honoring this guy, Todd Beamer, dude. Oh my God.
Pat, let's get off this for a second.
Yeah, sure.
I see this article in the email here. It says 51-year-old woman becomes pregnant with her own grandchild for her infertile daughter.
Well, that's for the next episode, Tom.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Well, it's coming. A little cliffhanger for you folks.
Pat, anything you want to add to the show?
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes of all time. Jon Stewart said it. I believe last September 11th when we did the podcast and we just touched on it. I went over this, but it says everything that everybody felt post 9/11. I'm not sure that we all hang on this at this point, but I do think it's still true to the effect of the men and women in uniform. And what he said was, the reason I don't worry about society is 19 people knocked down 2 buildings, and killed thousands. Hundreds of people ran into those buildings to save them. And I'll take those odds every fucking day. And if that's not the truest shit about the people that we have here in America, these fucking buildings are moving in reaction to giant fucking airplanes crashing into them. There's debris falling from the sky. There are people jumping out of windows. There's fire. The smell of jet fuel burning has filled this entire area. And there are hundreds of motherfuckers running towards it to make sure everybody's okay.
Pat, let me ask you
could
this.
you find better human beings on the planet?
Pat, let me ask you this real quick. Do you think Jon Stewart still feels that way?
I think that if I were to guess, and I'm guessing, I don't know Jon Stewart very well, never met him, but I would bet that Jon Stewart would still put his money on the men and women in uniform in New York City to defend New York City to its core.
Okay, that's fair. Anything else you want to add, Pat?
Tommy, happy birthday, number Niners. I say, good day.
Hey, by the time you guys listen to this tomorrow, we will be through our first Sunday football.
Oh, hold on. Ungood day me. Tommy, did you watch this fucking Buccaneers and Cowboys game?
It was pretty good, man. Dak threw up some
that
yards.
Shit ended at like fucking midnight 30, and I'm wide awake. I can't go to sleep. I'm shaking Liz. I'm like, Liz, wake the fuck up. Look at what's going on right now. Brady's got the ball. Minute and 24 seconds left. Down by 2. Come back, kid. Let's go. And she's like, don't touch me, please. Please don't touch me. Dude, I was on fucking fire. I was so excited.
Yeah. It was a pretty good game.
Yeah, a great first game of the season. Like, for people who've been waiting for football for months. Like,
well, and to be fair, man,
yourself,
I really thought it was going to be a blowout. Like, I thought the Bucs.
Didn't think that.
The Cowboys might actually be halfway decent this year.
Cowboys are a healthy Cowboys team is a dangerous Cowboys team. Brady winning in week 1 isn't a guarantee by any stretch. They lost last year in week 1. They lost when the Patriots destroyed everybody all year. They lost in week 1.
I would say this more times than not: if Brady loses week 1, he's going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, more times than not, if Brady ties his shoes, he's going to win a Super Bowl.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, I bet she says that all the time.
Because I said Liz was like, please don't touch me. Don't touch me. Fucking Rick Washington. I don't know how long you've been listening, but Tommy told a story that made me just fall in love with the character of Rick Washington earlier. And I'll let Tommy elaborate on that if he wants to.
Oh, it was on 9/11 when it first happened. You came home from work and said, let's get the important stuff out of the way. Happy birthday, boys. Or something like that. To that effect.
Rick, that's one of the coolest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. Because there was a lot going on that day. And there was a lot of confusion, a lot of fear. And we didn't know what was coming next. And you still had the fucking sound mind to make sure that your boys got their minute or so of just, hey, this is your day. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he thought that yesterday too when he called me at 8:30 in the morning and woke me up. But that was cool.
Oh, now it bothers you. This man.
I'm not saying it bothered me.
Made it a priority to show his children love at the most difficult time I can think of. I mean, what a weird time to be like, hey, kids, just want to let you know you're important. But fucking Rick did it.
Well, yeah.
Sure as shit. He lets you know.
He does it every time. Just saying.
Fucking what a fucking dad.
8:30 in the morning on a Saturday. Kind of early. Anyway, First call. It was my first call. It woke me up out of a sound sleep, and if you guys have ever heard my ringer, it will startle you awake. It's very nice.
I was actually going to call you at 12:01 and decided to not do it because that's a dick move.
I was up. You should have.
Ah.
That's why I was still sleeping at 8:30 in the morning. I was up playing video
Gotcha.
games. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the football stuff today. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna miss I'm gonna miss all the early games and probably the first half of the second games today. So that's a little disheartening, but we have to go watch Colin play his foosball today.
I'll miss the 4:00 games because my brother's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm going to drive down to go say hi. But I will see all of the 1:00 games, and I will watch the night game.
Nice. And we'll talk about this stuff more on Wednesday live or Thursday when you guys get the podcast. But yeah, I would, I guess let's wait for week 2, right? I'm gonna wait till week 2 to see what my take is on the Cowboys. But they might be better than we thought. Better than I thought, anyway.
I think they're still young, and they're finally able to gel together a little bit.
My dad said, because you're a good dad. Well, I appreciate that. Sometimes. Colin doesn't think that, but because I'm going to his game today. I miss a football to his game today.
I gotcha.
So yeah. All right, Pat. Well, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. 7 or no.
Time for real.
No. We're doing the podcast on Tuesday this week. Tuesday at 7:30. You forgot about that, didn't you, Pat?
No, I didn't know. I don't think we ever had the conversation.
Yes, we did. Tuesday, 7:30 live stream. Thursday podcast will still come out like normal. Until then, Pat,
I say, good day.
Dad, thanks for stopping in today. I think you're our only YouTube watcher today.
And Erica, I sent you.
Well, Erica's on Twitch.
Oh, well, look at that. It differentiates where the texts are coming from. You got
I
YouTube
know.
and Twitch.
I know.
That's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, bro.
You're a Banff, Tom. You're a Banff. A badass motherfucker.
I told you. Hey, Dad, if you're not following us on Twitter, go ahead, or on Twitch, go ahead and hit that follow button. It's twitch.tv/number NO9 media. Go ahead. You can see it streamed down here in the bottom of the screen there. NO9 media. Go ahead, hit that follow button. Help us get to 50. Help us get to 50. And it gives me a thumbs up. Appreciate you. Hope you had a great day. If you're not working, watch the foosball. It's gonna. Oh, you know, my old man picked in the Survivor pool, Pat.
Niners?
Yeah, I think the majority of people picked the Niners. Why would your mom waste the fucking the Tampa Bay pick for week 1?
I don't understand the waiting till late in the season thing. I've never seen one go that late. Like, use your goddamn good teams up front.
Nah, man, I've seen them go 10 weeks, bro.
All right, there's more than 10 good teams.
Yeah, but are there though?
And listen,
are there more than 10 teams that are there more than 10 teams that are almost like a guarantee? Like, you look at your Bucks, your Kansas City, your Niners, the Patriots of yesteryear, the Packers, even the Saints, right? Those are all teams that are more often, like, they're 13-3, maybe this year 14-3 or 13-4 teams. They're only going to lose 4 games. I saved those until the end of the season, until later in the Survivor pool.
Hold on. Apply your logic now. You know that those teams are going to win most of the time. So take them early. There's a lot of gambles out there. There's a lot of people that we don't know how they're going to turn out. There's a lot of people that we think are going to be good and aren't going to be good. There's a lot of people that we think are going to suck and aren't going to suck. You can use what you gain, the knowledge that you gain throughout the season, to make those picks later on. I used a garbage choice my first week. I took the Niners because I wanted to save.
I get your logic, but at the same time, there's so many bad teams that you can almost like you can pick those mediocre teams to win against the really bad teams. You know what I mean? So you're picking your 9-7 teams or your 10-6 teams to beat up on the 3-13 teams. You know what I mean?
There's really bad teams. So who'd you pick?
I picked the Niners week 1 because I have never, ever, ever, ever picked them in a survivor pool because they're my team. So I figure they're playing the Lions. The Lions are rated to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. So I'm going to use them. So essentially, it's a free pick because I normally wouldn't pick them.
Okay.
Pop says week 1 you have to take guarantee. I get it, but I wouldn't have used Tampa Bay so early. That's just me personally.
And not only that, on a Thursday night game, gamble.
Some of these motherfuckers picked. I saw somebody picked the fucking Giants. Who would pick the Giants?
That's a tough one.
I tell you what, I'm about to switch because who are they playing? Who are they playing?
I sent you a recap, and I think I sent you a perfect meme or a perfect Bitmoji.
They're playing the Broncos, man.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Man, I don't know, man. Should I switch my team? Should I switch my pick to the Giants?
You can't. Survivor's locked in.
I'm not saying Survivor. I'm saying my regular pick'em league.
Oh, that's up to you. I got a shit shower and shave. I got my mommy to go hang out with. We're having pulled pork. It's football. Let's go. I'm so fucking excited.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll catch you next time.
I love you, buddy.